They're everywhere you go, and this time they're no longer limited to nerds and day traders. That's right, crypto has taken the world by storm and is very much here to stay. It's no secret that digital technology is positioned to revolutionize our relationship with money, and in some cases, our ability to manage our economies. But is it as reliable as the current form of financial market is? Let's find out. History of currency competition. Our relationship with money is complicated to say the least, and we've been experimenting with it throughout our history. From shells and bones to exchanging goods, it has seen several forms and some pretty absurd competition. It won't be wrong to say that money has evolved along with humans themselves. The ability to print money has been linked with economic power throughout history, so it should come as no surprise that history is full of examples of currency competition, both within and among countries. For centuries, currencies created by private merchants and governments competed in China, the birthplace of the world's first paper money. And then came the creation of central banks, which were given the exclusive rights of issuing legal currency and tasked with preserving its stability that effectively ended this competition. This change occurred fairly early in Sweden, where the Riksbank, the world's oldest central bank, was established in the 17th century. Since the central banks emerged, competition has primarily been worldwide, with the relative worth of currencies determined by the reputation and stability of the central banks issuing them. Get on with the 21st century. But times have changed. Technology has evolved insanely in the last century, and we humans have a whole new reach now. We're doing away with old communication channels, transport, energy sources, pretty much almost everything. So why stick to the old paper money? It's not a secret that we're now on the verge of another phase of change. Cash is on its way out, and the digital technologies that will replace it have the potential to change the very character and capabilities of money. Today, central bank money serves as a unit of account, a medium of exchange, and a store of value all at the same time. However, when certain types of private digital money, particularly various cryptocurrencies, gain traction, digital technologies may lead to the separation of these tasks. This trend could kill central bank money's supremacy and spark a new wave of currency competition, with long-term consequences for many countries, particularly those with smaller economies. The decline of physical currency, formerly regarded as the most definitive form of money, is only one small aspect of the rapidly evolving financial landscape. The rise of cryptocurrencies, which have disrupted long-held traditional beliefs about economics, has been one of the most dramatic drivers of change. The rise of crypto. Most people would have laughed 10 years ago had you invested a portion of your hard-earned money in cryptocurrencies, a form of virtual currency safeguarded by various cryptographic and computer-generated mechanisms. However, if you don't do it now or have never exchanged a single Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin, you may be considered out of touch with the times. That's how fast crypto has taken over the world. Whether you like it or not, it's now practically everywhere. In reality, many established firms are incorporating Bitcoin into their platforms in some way or another, or leveraging it to launch new goods. Even businesses and celebrities are coming up with their own currencies. What is the link between Vladimir Putin and Burger King, for example? Nothing apart from the fact that they now have their own cryptocurrency. Even PayPal released a new service that allows account holders to buy, sell, or keep cryptos, as well as use it to make purchases at 26 million different merchants. The world of crypto is an ever-expanding universe at this point, with Bitcoin being the de facto standard. Bitcoin, where it all began. This is where the revolution began. The concept of Bitcoin was born out of sheer distrust of the official money. In early 2009, at a time when faith in governments and banks was at an all-time low thanks to the global financial crisis. How does it work? Bitcoin is a type of virtual currency that combines cryptography and distributed ledgers, the blockchain, to keep transactions both public and totally anonymous, and without the involvement of a trusted third party such as a central bank or financial institution. In other words, anyone with a computer could perform transactions without using a credit card or a bank account. Coins are issued and transactions are authenticated by a computer algorithm that operates independently. Crazy, right? Who came up with the idea, you'd ask? No one knows for sure. The creator's identity is unknown to this day. At first, central bankers and authorities were enthusiastic about Bitcoin and the blockchain technology that underpins it. But should the people be permitted to settle transactions using a privately created asset without the intervention of the state? Even as it grew in popularity, Bitcoin struggled in its core purposes. The coin's volatility, with wild fluctuations from one day to the next, has turned it into a questionable method of payment. But even after its failure to do what it was meant to, the concept of private money appears to be in a position to change the economic landscape forever. And it's Bitcoin that revolutionized and brought about the new era of money. Stablecoin. Bitcoin, but better. Aiming to address Bitcoin's drawbacks, a new generation of cryptocurrencies came to being. Stablecoins, for example, are cryptocurrencies whose value is stable because they're backed by reserves of US dollars or other recognized fiat currencies. These are marketed as reliable, simple-to-use digital payment systems that will make local and international payments cheaper and faster. In contrast to Bitcoin, which is completely decentralized, they require transactions to be validated by the issuing institution, which might be a bank, a corporation, or simply an internet entity. Stablecoins appear to be holding their own for the time being. There were more than 30 in circulation as of March 2022, with a combined worth of around $185 billion. Secondly, stablecoins developed on top of large-scale commercial networks like Amazon's may gain substantial popularity as a means of payment. In any case, stablecoins are unlikely to become independent stores of value, as long as their stability is dependent on being backed by fiat currencies. In other words, they would be used primarily because they're a less expensive or more convenient method of payment. What does the future hold? Despite bumps in the road, the cryptocurrency revolution has pushed the boundaries of digital payment technologies and lit a fire within central banks. Long regarded as conservative institutions resistant to big change, many are now racing to catch up with the digital age. Faced with the increasing insignificance of their paper currencies, numerous central banks around the world are considering issuing money in digital form. Major economies such as China, Japan, and Sweden are experimenting with central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, which are essentially digital versions of the currencies they currently issue in the form of notes and coins. The Bahamas and Nigeria have already implemented CBDCs on a national scale, while Brazil, India, and Russia are among the countries that are starting their own trials. CBDCs have plenty of advantages, such as the potential to bring certain types of economic activity out of the shadows and into the tax net, reduce counterfeiting, and make it more difficult to use official money for illicit purposes, such as money laundering, drug trafficking, and terrorism financing. They may compromise whatever kind of privacy we still have, though. After all, anything digital leaves a trace. What will the financial world look like in 5 or 10 years? We may imagine a world in which many people have digital wallets consisting of a mixture of money in traditional bank accounts, stablecoins maintained by private companies, and possibly one or more CBDCs, which they move about depending on global conditions. However, no one knows how stablecoins and CBDCs will coexist. For example, Meta, previously Facebook, had planned to launch its own stablecoin. However, the project was halted by US regulators, who were concerned about Meta's goals and the prospect that the stablecoin might be used to support unlawful transactions both within and across national borders. Is it time to do away with the cash? Not yet. Although, cash according to many is largely outdated. Handling physical money has become fairly rare as our cell phones now allow us to make payments with ease. In just a few years, people in prosperous countries like the United States and Sweden, as well as those in impoverished countries like India and Kenya, have changed the way they pay for even the most basic goods. But it's still the prevalent form of money today. People, especially those who live in the third world, rely massively on cash for transactions. Even as contactless payments got common during the COVID-19 epidemic, demand for cash increased in various nations, including the United States, possibly because people saw it as a safe form of savings. Also, this transition may appear to be a potential source of inequality. If currency disappears, it is possible that the old, impoverished, and others who are technologically disadvantaged will be disenfranchised. But it can also be argued that cell phones have reached near saturation in many countries, and if properly implemented, digital money might be a powerful force for financial inclusion for those with limited access to formal financial services. All that is certain, though, is that the international monetary system is on the verge of deep transformation as a result of the digital revolution. It has to be seen if this ultimately improves humanity as a whole or worsens existing domestic and global disparities. And that's a wrap for today's video. How do you see the future of money in the ever-evolving tech world? Comment below and let us know. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more such content. See you in the next one.